Hi everyone, Fathom here from Fathom Reaper. Thinking about changing the channel's name into something else, but that's not important. And welcome to a new What If series titled What If Deku Became Kamen Rider Hope. Now, if you've been around this channel for more than an hour, you probably would have went into the community post tab and saw the drawings I did of custom Kamen Rider forms. Yeah, that's Hope in his forms. And with this story, I'm planning it a lot more than I usually do. Because I want to improve in whatever way I can. Now let me give a brief summary of the rules. 1. Izuku will become a Rider Hope. No, he won't get one for all. Technically. The Hope driver uses the DNA from One for All to, well, be the Hope driver. And if you can tell, the forms are based on each of the One for All users. Now, without further ado, because I can't think of much to say, let us begin. Ah, ah, ah.
Kamen Rider.
No. You can't be a hero, not without a quirk. The words hurt. They really did. To anyone else, this might have not hurt them. But to Midoriya, to Izuku, it did. Earlier today, he had gotten into a small incident with a sludge villain, per se. In that incident, he was saved by All Might, his idol, his favorite hero, the symbol of peace. He ended up getting an autograph and everything, but before he could ask his question, All Might was about to jump away, so doing what any sane person would do, he grabbed onto his leg to at least ask him his question. After nearly dying and getting scolded for a bit, Midoriya had then asked All Might his question. Could he be a hero without a quirk? And All Might just said no. And he probably said other stuff, but Izuku didn't hear it. He was just broken. But he did hear the last words All Might said before he left. It's not bad to dream, just have realistic dreams. It was like a gut punch to finish off this whole painful experience. He should have known this. He should have known something like this would happen, but that small, young, wide-eyed child in him that he thought died just couldn't let it happen. And he just stood, just watching the world go by as he just thought of everything. Everything changed the day he got his quirk diagnosis. He and his twin sister Izumi were very excited about it. Izumi ended up getting a powerful telekinetic quirk which allowed her to lift up objects and also to create constructs. But Midoriya was quirkless. His parents ended up celebrating Izumi's quirk, and they ended up forgetting about Midoriya. He thought this was just a one-time thing. Maybe they were just really excited, or maybe they just wanted to give him space. But no. He began noticing things. His meals portions became smaller and smaller. His parents' attention was always on Izumi and rarely on him. And at school, things weren't any better. Kids being kids and being obsessed with quirks and heroes couldn't fathom Izuku being quirkless. In fact, they saw it as a weakness. And his old friend, Bakugo, turned on him and began bullying him with a bunch of other kids. And soon it escalated. The teachers did nothing to do it, just used an excuse, oh, they're just kids, or it's to help them, or any of that BS. Izumi never joined in, because it's almost as if she forgot her brother. The worst thing is, however, for she became more cold, more professional due to all the praise she and Bakugo was getting. Unlike the mutt who had a big ego, she was more of a prodigy, being calculating, cold. But Midoriya, yet he was just seen as a parasite. Beatings got worse. School nurses were neglectful at best to the point where he actually had to learn medical experience. And it was not good. Like, it was difficult for him. And money was also difficult to get. People prioritize quirks too much. And the worst thing today, apart from All Might just breaking his dreams without a second thought, was what Bakugo said to him. If you want a quirk so badly, take a swan dive off the roof and pray for one in the next life. The worst thing is, Izumi was there. Took a quick glance and just ignored it. Why do I even bother? Why? Midoriya was gonna leave the building, but then he noticed something. All Might's blood. What? How did this get here? Well, he didn't know right away if it was All Might's blood, but the only person who could be here for blood to be this fresh was All Might. He did end up noticing he did bleed a bit, but not this badly. Okay, something's up with him. Could that have been a fake? No, not likely. What's the point? Wait, maybe this could be used. Quickly, like a maniac, Midoriya scooped up the blood into an empty bottle he had, and like a madman, ran all the way home, blissfully or just knowingly unaware of the huge explosion going on in the background. When he got back, he quickly entered his room. His parents weren't here, they were still at work. His mother also ended up getting a job because she they wanted to get the best for Izumi. And Hisashi, she ended up getting a better offer and didn't have to go to America. Quickly, Midoriya enters his room, which is not in a good state. The wallpaper, the walls have cracks in them, and one of them just has a big hole in them connected to the pipes, where he was able to attach a faucet to it. And the place was covered in blueprints and other bits and bobs. Because despite the fact Midoriya was quirkless, that didn't deny the fact that he was smart, despite what everyone else would say. And he wasn't just idling by while everyone else was just glazing their quirks. God, I'm never saying that again. He was doing some training. He knew that fighting experience would be useful. But he also knew that if he wasn't able to protect himself, he would most likely die. So after many nights and days, he came up with an idea. Okay, if this blood doesn't work, then this project has been a whole failure since the beginning. Quickly, he inserts the capsule inside the weird device. The device that could make or break everything. The heroic driver. A belt-like object that could give Midoriya armor and also replicate a quirk. He has tried with many different blood samples. He even got one from Endeavor, well, without the number 2 knowing, but none of them worked. It was just not strong enough. So after running a diagnostic of making sure the belt was fine, he took the belt with him, went up to the mirror, and said this. This is it, Izuku. This is the day you either become a hero or just another statistic. Heroic driver. That's new. Henshin! Hop! 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 Hope has arrived, and not the false kind. Yeah, don't expect me to do that kind of stuff.
Kamen Rider.
I can't believe how reckless your student is, Nana. Excuse me, Yen. I didn't exactly have enough time to teach him. Yeah, I know. All for one in that.
Yeah, I mean, I had some experience teaching.
Banjo, you can't really teach.
Ah, come on, I did a good job.
You taught me how to take a punch by making me having to take a punch.
Well, duh, how else are you gonna learn?
Oh my goodness, I swear to God. What we see now is the 5th, 6th, and 7th users of One for All arguing about the 8th user. The other users are just doing their own thing in the subspace that they're in. No one fought to have a pack of cards on that person. They tried to tell Toshinari via communication, via dreams, but he never seemed to got the message. Reckless or not, he did the most damage to All for One. I just hope he did finish him off, or he's in such a state that my brother can't do much harm.
I mean, we've seen what he's capable of. He is incredibly hard to kill.
Yeah. He was. I just hope he hasn't gotten a better generation quirk. I hope so. Suddenly, all the users sense something. Something entering the scape. Wait. Hold on. What's going on?
Wait, you mean to tell me he's...
No. We can't. No. No. Toshi, please be okay. Soon all the users were getting ready for a fight. But instead of All for One, what they saw surprised them. God, my head hurts. Where... Must have knocked myself out. Where on earth am I? What the...
Hey, it's a kid! Wait, did All for One become a kid? Bancho, we don't know if he works with him or not.
Who's All for One and... Who are you? I'll handle this, everyone. Greetings, small boy. Okay, Root. My apologies. I'm not good at this. Can someone handle this? Nana? Alright. I got this. Hello, young man. Lovely weather we're having today. What? Yeah, just starting some light conversation. First of all, how did you get here? Oh, and your name, before I forget rudely. Oh, I'm Izuku Midoriya, and before I answer how I got here, who are you people? And how did you get in my head? Uh, Nana quickly turns to look at the other users, trying to get some sort of sign to at least tell him, but then Yurichi speaks up. Forgive me. We are the users of One for All. One for All? Wait, is that All Might's quirk? Uh, you know about it? No, it's just I took some of his blood and then hold on. You took his blood. Yeah, I noticed it when he just ditched me on the roof after breaking my dreams. Breaking your dream? Toshi would never do that. Really? I'm pretty sure he clearly stated you can't be a hero not without a quirk. At this point, I don't. At this point, everyone was just right. That little hypocritical son of a. I'm going with 50 kilometers that way. Call me if y'all need me. And with that, Nana flies off far away. Presumably to yell a bunch of profanity. Why was she like that? Well, we'll explain after you explain how did you use his blood to gain his quirk. You need the permission of the user. Oh, well, I... Well, since I'm quirkless as I blurted out. Not bad. What? I said it's not bad. I know a few people from my time who didn't need quirks to kick someone's ass. These days, people are too lazy. That's the nicest thing someone said to me. Are you... Are you okay? I think. Anyways, let me explain. This here on my belt, this belt I'm wearing. Oh, I didn't notice that. Why does it look like that? Yeah, this is the heroic driver. It's been something I've been working on for ages. Oh, how does it work? I'm not familiar with technology. Hermit. Biker. Well, it's probably one of the most difficult things I've tried to create. I've tried many ways of getting it to work, but no matter whose blood I used, I can never have been able to replicate their quirk. Wait, you found a way to make a quirk that can be given to everyone? Well, so far only this one. Presumably because it's haunted by 7 ghosts. We're not ghosts, I mean we're dead, but I had a feeling. Okay, you're smart. Wait, how did you make this? I don't think the future's gotten that advanced. When you lack power, you're willing to do anything for it. That's a dangerous motto. Yeah. Although, the armor should have gone on. Guess after I activated it, kind of just didn't place. Well, I'm actually really interested in this. Do you mind? Oh, yeah, sure, but wouldn't you want to wait for your friend? She's gonna be a while. And with that, Nana just comes back on cue. Yeah, I'm back. What did I miss? Nothing much. That guy's got a fancy belt that can give a person a quirk. Oh, that is a cool belt. Thank you. Everyone else just says my ideas are stupid.
Jesus, even your parents? Oh, sorry about that. Don't really know when to shut my mouth.
It's not a problem. Anyways, now the demonstration begins. Quick, as soon as Izuku says that, he quickly pushes the button on the driver and then yells, "Henshin!" And the whole music plays. I'm not singing that again. And as soon as the transformation finishes, Izuku stands there with a new, not new, with an armor on, and the rest of the users are just shocked and kind of excited about this. Well, the younger ones, not the older ones. They're like more thinking, more strategizing, more plotting. But Yurichi's freaking out. That is the coolest thing I've seen. Oh, what? Thank you. Yep. Seems like it's gotten the way I looked. But something's just been bothering me about the belt. It should have been only one color, but there's 7 on them here. Hold on. What if I... Okay. I am assuming I can't use those yet.
What, you never tested it?
None of the tests worked.
Wait, do you even know how to use one for all?
That's a good point. What even is it? Oh, it's a stockpiling quirk that can be passed down to others. Passed down to others? Wait, you mean... Hold on, when you said All Might was a hypocrite, Yep. He was quirkless. Izuku, at that very moment, deep inside him, felt pure and utter rage. He didn't think he could get even more angrier than he did, but lo and behold, he can surprise himself. You mean to tell me he told me I couldn't be a hero without a quirk when he was quirkless? Instead of offering help, he just decided to break my dreams right in front of me.
Well, when you put it like that, it really does sound terrible.
Look, I'll deal with my feelings another time. How do I use it again? Well, the best method that we thought up of was trying to channel it. As if you have electricity in your body. Okay. And with that, Hope does as instructed. And when he feels like he's gotten somewhere, he tries to throw a punch. And there's a decent effect afterwards. Huh. I expected you would have gone over the limit and broke your arm. Oh, that must be due to the inbuilt limiter I added. It limits the amount I can use in the event that if I overuse it, this. Take your time. Long story short, it will automatically cap my power to a level where I won't harm myself.
Whoa, that's actually pretty good. That's some decent programming you must have done.
It took me ages. I didn't even think it would work.
What do you think, Second? It's impressive, but not can't really do much if it's only at what 1%.
It's more like 0.1%.
Ugh. I think we should say what we're all thinking. So, first,
Right. Izuku Midoriya. Present. How would you like for us to help train you so that you can become a hero? That would be nice.
You don't seem too excited about this.
Yeah, I don't get happy about anything. What? You mean you don't even smile anymore? I don't remember the last time I did. Oh no. Oh no. What are you doing, Murphy? Come on, I'm. This is how you do a smile, like this. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh. This will be a long day. Yep. And from that day forward, Izuku Midoriya began training with the Seven Vestiges. We found out that he can use it outside the subspace, the Hope Driver, and that he can always come back to communicate with them. And they always appeared as a ghost that only he could see. Thankfully, though, he had a very long break. The school wanted all its students to get into their hero school, so they gave him 10 months off. It was reckless, but it worked wonders. It's one of the few reasons Alderaan High still stood. Something that the users of One for All would make sure wouldn't be the case. With Nana, she helped train him in muscles, but also in socializing, seeing as that's a key fact about being a hero, being good with people. Because if people trust you, things can be easy. She also tried her best to get Midoriya to smile, but the endeavors were not desirable, so she would still attempt from time to time. En focused on helping Midoriya with stealth due to how his quirk worked. Due to all the smoke he produced, he was great at dispatching people. How the trainer would go is that in the mindscape, En would coat a huge area of smoke and have Izuku try and stealth through it while also avoiding him. Midoriya got his ass handed to him a lot of times, but he was getting better with time, which was good. Banjo had the most unique one. His training was field work, per se. So he would have Midoriya go out into the field with the Hope Driver and basically do semi-vigilante work. The others were, well, the fourth, sixth, and seventh user were against this, but the others were like, let him cook. They did say that, and it was kind of surprising. Thankfully, the Hope Driver was able to keep his identity and voice hidden. This helped him gain a lot of experience, such as not leaving your back turned on someone or checking for weapons. One time, however, he was nearly caught. The story went like this. He had just finished dispatching the villain when all of a sudden a hero attacked him. This being Yokishin, the number 9 hero who we don't know anything about.
Surrender, villain, and you will be spared.
Izuku was semi-panicking, but he also didn't really care. Yokishin's work was a storage quirk, per se, and he was an effective weapon master. But thanks to the armor he's wearing, he made sure it was incredibly durable. At this point, he's only gotten 0.5% of One for All under control. And he didn't really feel like fighting a pro hero, so he quickly attempted to retreat. However, Yokushin, being smart, quickly pulled out the bow and shot at him. Well, specifically at a ladder in the alleyway, which dropped on his head, semi-concussion him. Ah! I gave you your warning, he says as he summons his sword. Now you must fall. Quickly, he charges at him and swings his sword. Midoriya, gets into a fighting stance, and with the help of Banjo, who feels semi-responsible, quickly helps cover his weak spots, per se, by letting him know. The fight is a quick one, per se. Yoshirin, I don't know his name, so I'm not gonna bother looking it up. Quickly slashes at him, which was blocked by his armor. And Hope retaliates with a punch, which Yorkishin blocks, but is quickly followed up by a kick to the stomach, which sends him back. Strong. You have a powerful quirk. This part irks him. There it is again. Quirk this, quirk that. Quick, Yorkishin swaps out his sword with a mace, then. Sharpness won't do. Blunt force it is. Is he even legally allowed that? I don't know, I was allowed a gun. Yorkishin then starts going on the offensive, swinging his mace while Hope was dodging each and every one of them. Yeah, sometimes I forget to refer to Suzuku as Hope while he's wearing the armor. Forgive me. Hope then, mid-fight, tries channeling One For All into his legs to give him a speed boost. This helps because Yorkishin is wearing armor, and he is quickly getting annoyed. Face me like a warrior! Or are you just another coward? Now, if Hope wasn't already angry, he was, although did his best to hide it. So he quickly tries to push One For All further, but it's still capped at 0.5%. However, he quickly does a wall run, and then jumps and does a front flip in the air, and positions himself mid-fall into a rider kick. And the impact was powerful. Yorkishin was knocked out of the alleyway and into a car. Midoriya didn't have enough time to check on him because he quickly ran off. And later that day, or specifically tomorrow, news got around of a new vigilante on the scenes. And people were wondering what to call him. One guy said Hope, because he thought that's what the H-like symbol stood for. And that ended up getting a lot of likes. Izuku, however, sighed, saying it stands for heroic. Anyways, with the fort user, he actually trained him in meditation and martial arts. Meditation for helping him calm his mind and be more rational. He doesn't want a student who's gonna throw himself into an active volcano. With the third user, it was a lot more different. He taught him computing and hacking, and it was a painful experience for the both of them. Whenever they got code that was actually working, they never touched it again. Bruce Lee, that's his name, was actually proud of Midoriya, despite the fact that his face didn't really show it. It was nice having someone to teach. And he ended up talking about his life as well. Bruce was actually from America, but moved to Japan at the age of 15. He was caught up in the whole war between All for One and One for All. Well, specifically All for One. And he did his best as a third successor to lead one All for One away from the fort user, meaning he had no clue what his quirk was. Which was a good idea, Izuku told him. The second user was Harsh on Midoriya. He came up with a whole training regimen plan, and it was brutal. And any further discussions will not be talked. Yurichi was not really doing training sessions, specifically helping him with coming up with special moves and stuff. With that rider kick being in the ember to start that fire in them. Maybe you can do a variation where you just channel it into your punch. That could work. Yeah, anyways, what are you working on? Oh, I realize I probably need a getaway, so I'm making a motorcycle. The other users quickly stop what they're doing and turn to see the frame of the motorcycle. Whoa, cool. Also, how did you get a motorcycle in your room? It's kinda tiny. Well, I'm the same way I get the Hope Driver to give me my armor. Oh. Actually, do you have a name you're coming up with? Well, I've been thinking for a while, and yes, I do. I am Kamen Rider Hope! Eh, eh, oh. Hold on, why that? Well, I'm wearing a mask, and I have a motorcycle, which I'm probably gonna use a lot. And the Hope thing has already been associated with me, so might as well. Oh, it does sound better than heroic. Hey, it's a good name. Yeah. And during those 10 months, Izuku enjoyed his time with the users. Training had helped him, and by the time the entrance exam would come along, he was sitting at 5%. The second user's training really was effective. However, Midoriya would not be using the Hope Driver, the Heroic Driver, during the exam. When the users asked, he simply said he wants to prove that he can do it without it before he starts using it. And they respected it. But Yorichi felt something behind this. Something malicious. I must be imagining things, he thought. Oh, how soon he would regret it. Not soon, but soon in the future.
Kamen Rider.
When people think of UA, there's many things that they can be used to describe it. Lion is apparently one of them. How Izuku came to this conclusion is quite simple. Though we may have to take a bit of time to explain. It was the day of the entrance exam when he arrived. He didn't run into Bakugo, which was odd, but he didn't think much of it. He applied for the Hero Course exam and made sure he had everything ready. He did request that he could bring a support item, in which case he brought himself a metal baton. He wanted to practice with weapons in the event that his fists aren't enough. So, Banjo recommended a baton to start off with. The written exam went well. Izuku thought he could do better in some of the subjects, but he did pretty good in a lot of them. He was smart, but not on the level of building a time machine smart. Before the practical, they did have to go to an assembly so the rules could be explained. There, Izuku sat next to a purple-haired boy who looked like he needed more sleep. He was just glad it wasn't Bakugo, who he spotted a few rows down. President Mike explained that they would be fighting robots, and the purple-haired boy next to him, sighed at hearing this. Must have a quirk that doesn't do good against robots. Such a shame. And after a small delay caused by some blue-haired boy with an obsession for hand chopping in the air, they soon arrived at their zone. Izuku saw the purple-haired boy again and decided to talk to him. Hey, I noticed you were nervous. The robot's gonna be a problem for you? Huh? Oh, yeah. My quirk isn't really good against them. Hmm. Well, if I had to recommend something, I would try and find if they have an off switch or something. Or if that doesn't work, find some debris that you can use as a weapon. I would lend you mine, but I only brought one baton. What's that gonna do? It's pretty weighted. Could probably crush a human skull if I need to. Okay. Hmm. Oh yeah, just a heads up. When the gate opens, run in. Wouldn't we get disqualified? Didn't you get the hint that President Mike left in his speech about being ahead? You did? Yeah, kind of. And just like he said, when the gates opened, Izuku rushed in. And the purple-haired boy did as well. People were complaining that they should have been expelled, but President Mike quickly went, "What are you doing? There's no countdowns in the real life." And soon the exam went on. Midoriya mainly focused on 1 and 2 pointers, while also helping other examinees. He also tried to see if the robots had an off switch, but they didn't. I just hope that boy was able to get a weapon. Quickly, however, he ran into that boy again, who managed to get a piece of rebar to use, and was stabbing it in the robot's eyes, which was able to take him out. Hey, you're doing pretty good. What's your current score? I think I got 10. I got 39. And as soon as he says that, a 3-pointer showed up. Hey, wanna take this down together? If we get tag team points, then sure. Agreeing, they both decided to try and take down the 3-pointer, which was quite slow. Izuku was quite nimble thanks to his training, so he tried his best to go for the head, which was difficult because the robot was protecting it. And the purple-haired boy tried to use his rebar bar to stab him. Not Izuku, the robot. And after a bit of fighting, then and avoiding, they were able to take it out with minimal scratches. Okay. I should have enough points to pass. I'll help you get the rest. Thanks. Oh, here. Izuku then tossed him his baton. Feel free to use it for now. Thanks. But before they can continue, a huge rumble was heard. They see what appears to be a giant robot, and both Izuku and Shinzo were about to flee because the 0-pointer was not worth points. But then Izuku heard someone screaming for help. And quickly, without thinking, mainly because his vigilante instincts were kicking in, he ran towards the sounds and saw a girl trapped underneath. He did his best to try and help her, but it was difficult. However, Shinzo also came along, and did his best to help as well. They were able to get her out, but the 0 pointer was quickly closing in. However, all of a sudden, Izumi showed up and launched a powerful punch into the 0 pointer's face, destroying it. And quickly, she just levitated back down and just walked away after the exam was over. But something irked Izuku. She couldn't do that with her quirk. Wait, could it? I'll have to ask the others. And with that, the entrance exam was over. The purple-haired boy gave his weapon back, and Izuku wished him luck in his results. The brunette didn't get a chance to thank him. So imagine Izuku's surprise when, a week later, he gets his letter from UA. He notices Izumi's one in the mail, and since his parents weren't at home and neither was Izumi, he just took his one and went to his room. And when he opened his letter, he was greeted by the principal of UA. Good evening, Izuku Midoriya. Am I a bear, a mouse, a dog? In reality, I'm the principal. Now, in your written exam, you scored around 80 out of 100, which is very impressive. Granted, some of your results could be better, but that's what UA is for. Now, in your practical, you scored around 41 villain points, which was a respectable amount. However, you also got a total of 50 rescue points for helping other students and rescuing Ochako Uraraka from the 0 pointer, which gives you enough to enter the UA Hero course. Izuku was... he didn't know how to describe it. Ecstatic? Happy? He didn't know. But quickly, that would soon be over. However, I do have unfortunate news. When going over who should be in the hero course or not, my staff was concerned about your lack of a quirk. 3 of my staff voted in your favor, but the rest were against you. Many of them had concerns about your safety, or how useful you would be, despite what they have seen. And if I had to say, I am disappointed in them. But UA is a democracy, and I wish to destroy those. So unfortunately, we must place you in general studies. Izuku blanked at this. He got in fair and square. He did good in the exam. And now they're telling him he can't join because he lacked a quirk? Hypocritical. Hypocritical freaks. All of them! They say anyone could be a hero, yet they lie. Quickly, he was pulled into One for All, where the users immediately started calming down. They were telling him things like, hang on, God, maybe you can appeal for this, or you proved them wrong that someone could, and there will always be someone who couldn't have gotten in because, and only did because you weren't allowed. So it just shows how pathetic they are. They weren't really good at these kinds of situations. But Ricci was concerned about that part about freaks. Did Midori have certain thoughts about people with quirks? I mean, he'd be surprised if he didn't, but it would be a crazy thought. However, as if things couldn't get any worse, Izuku and they all end up overhearing what the rest of Izuku's family. Izumi, I'm so proud of you for getting first in the exam. That's my girl. To think even All Might wants to train you. You'll make this family proud. I only did what was necessary, Mother and Father. I will be a hero and fulfill my duties. We should go out to celebrate.
Indeed. Let's go.
That last part ticked off Izuku, and also gave him the conclusion he needed. So, he gave her his goddamn quirk. What? Izumi? Me? Guess you were more greedy than I thought. Midoriya, calm down. Shut up. I don't want to hear it.
Hang on. Why should this stop you from being a hero? Everyone turns to see what Bruce is saying. You've did good as a vigilante, and no one knows your identity. And besides, from what I hear, from what little we've seen, the UA Sports Festival could be your chance to get in. By showing the world that you can be a hero without a quirk in the sports festival, that most likely will help change your teacher's opinion. Look, it's best you calm down. I agree, this is hypocritical of UA. But nothing can be done. How much you want to bet Bakugo got in?
Well, considering they're all obsessed with quirks, most likely. In my opinion, though, explosions is only really useful for combat, but in my opinion, it's how practical your quirk is that should matter. And even if you don't have a quirk, skills exist. I just wish Toshi learned that.
Well, for now, we'll just have to amp up our training regiments. How's your control sitting at?
I can go up to 5%, but I am hoping to get to higher.
Yeah. Well, Midoriya, I'm probably said this before, but we thank you for agreeing to help in our battle.
Well, I want to prove everyone wrong, and what better way than taking out a dangerous villain?
And that's a bit selfish, but understandable. Soon the first day of UA arrived, and Mizuku was not in a good mood. He looked even more depressed and angry than usual. Hard to tell, because you couldn't even see him smiling. He made his way over to General Studies, and when he entered his class, he saw that most of them had already arrived and were chatting. He went to take his seat and saw the purple-haired boy right next to him. And the purple-haired boy noticed him. Wait, you're that guy from the entrance exam.
Oh, yeah. You didn't get in?
Didn't score enough points. What about you? Did you not do good in the written?
No. I did good, it's just they voted. They held a vote and decided that I should be placed in general.
What?
Why? Well, before he can continue, the door burst open, revealing Presentation Michael. Yeah! Hey, little listeners! Welcome to your first day at UA. Now, we're gonna have orientation very soon. So best make your way to the auditorium, yeah? And after hearing this, many of the students made their way. However, before Zuko left, Presentation Michael stopped him. Hey, little listener!
What do you want?
I just want to say it was unfair what the others did to you.
Unfair?
Yep. You're looking at number one who voted for you. What you did was impressive. Reminds me a lot about Sho.
Sho?
Oh, Eraserhead. He also voted for you.
He Unfortunately, the others were very concerned, but not concerned enough about their students' wit quirks. Honestly. Can you give me their names? Why? Are you gonna hunt them down? No. Oh my god, he's a mini Nezu. Wait, who was the third one? Oh, that would be Snipe. His excuse was, all I have is a gun, and it doesn't even auto-aim most of the time. And that is fair. I have seen people use Snipe as an argument with... I know! Look, UA Sports Festival could be your chance to enter the hero course. Just wanted to give you a heads up. Oh, that's thoughtful of you. Thanks. No worries, it's just you seemed really down about this. I always look like this. Oh my god, you really are a mini show. Anyways, to the auditorium! And with that, Mike just runs off at high speeds. And as Izuku is leaving, he notices the purple-haired boy. So, that's the reason you didn't enter? Yep. Don't even have a quirk. Izuku was expecting to be made fun of because of his lack of a quirk, but the purple-haired boy surprised him. Must be nice to not have a quirk. Eh? With my quirk, it lets me brainwash people after I respond to them. After they respond. Got bullied a lot because of it. Same. Oh, I never got your name. Hitoshi Shinzo. Izuku Midoriya. Wait, isn't that the same name as the person who placed first in the exam? Let's just say I have shit home life and school life. Soon, orientation passed, and it was lunch. Hitoshi and Izuku ended up sitting next to each other because they kind of developed a friendship. And no, I am not making chips. And lunch was uneventful, but he did notice Bakugo being loud and brassful and prayed to whatever god there was that he didn't notice him. Unfortunately, God hated him, and Bakugo noticed him. What are you doing here, Deku? Even lunch, what does it look like I'm doing? Didn't I tell your tell you quirkless freak to not go to UA? Last time I checked, you're not my parent. And before Bakugo could do anything, Hitoshi stepped in. Hey, what do you want? And as soon as he said that, he fell under Hitoshi's quirk. Walk away and dunk your head in the toilet. And with that, Bakugo left. And Midoriya just looked at him. Oh my god. What? That's the first time anyone's defended me. Huh. So that's what it feels like. Yeah. Thanks for that. No worries. You're not worried about getting into trouble? Not really. Anyways, we should probably get going. Right.
Final Kamen Rider.
And soon, Midoriya's days at UA were relatively uneventful. Apart from a media coverage, because he found out that, yes, All Might was teaching at UA. Thankfully, he hadn't run into the man, but he had a feeling that he may have influenced the votes. Hitoshi was a friend, he thinks. He never really had a friend. The other users tried their best to encourage him to make more friends, but that never was gonna work. Izuku had a list of ways of staying alive. Stay low, don't stand out, don't try to be better than you are, and don't reveal everything you can do. He still continued his training as Hope and was thinking about a weapon to make in the event that he needed to use something other than his fists, but so far he was drawing blanks. However, one day on his vigilante patrol, he overheard some guys talking. So, you notice how there's not much villains out this night? Yeah, apparently a lot of them got some offers from some hand guy. Really? Yeah, apparently they're planning to attack your way. Well, they're just idiots. Yeah, but the pay is good. Yeah, isn't All Might teaching there, though? Yeah, he is. I'm gonna hope they survive. Yeah. And with that, Izuku quickly realizes that there's an attack gonna happen to Yue. Okay, that just sounded wrong. Quickly, he enters the mindscape with the other users and quickly discuss things. Okay, so we know they're gonna attack Yue, but probably not on the main campus. That would just be too stupid to do. Yeah, that could be. Yeah, that is true. Wasn't there anything... Isn't there a place they could attack where Yue won't know? I wish. Let's just head back for now. Not many villains today, and those guys have given us info, so might as well not beat them up. With that, Midoriya quickly leaves, and as soon as he gets back, he overhears his family again. USJ? You're going to Universal Studios Japan, Izumi? No, Mother. It's a training joint that's off campus. And that's when the users and Midoriya quickly realize they're gonna attack there. We should probably stake out the place just in case. Yeah, the question is, when? Fair point. I'm sure I can skip class. Mike is relatively chill. Indeed, I do enjoy his enthusiasm. And soon the day of the supposed attack would arrive. Izuku, now in his OP armor, was quickly heading to the USJ. He was a few minutes late. When he got to the USJ, he saw things have gone quite sideways. The students were scattered everywhere. Eraserhead was pinned down by a giant bird creature. Or at least heavily injured by said bird creature. All Might was fighting against it, and so was Izumi. Bakugo was knocked out. A boy with white and red hair was there, and so was a red-haired boy who was dealing with some smaller time villains. Quickly, the bird creature was defeated. Is that the best you got, you villains? That didn't even put a scratch on me.
No! No! Nomu was supposed to beat you! You cheater! Is what I would said if that was the real one.
What?
Oh, foolish, foolish All Might. You really think I wouldn't bring up a backup in case you had some cheats on?
And as if on cue, the real Nomu showed up. Apparently, a villain with a mimic quirk was actually the one fighting All Might. And the Nomu jabbed its hands through All Might's weak spot, taking the wind out of him. All Might. But before Izumi could do anything, the same Nomu quickly appeared right in front of her and grabbed her by her head and slammed her into the ground. Gah! And before Todoroki could do anything, the Nomu appeared again and just delivered a roundhouse kick to his face, knocking him into the ruin zone.
Well, look at that, All Might. Seems like you guys were much lower level than I thought.
No, I can't let it end like this.
Well, looks like you failed. Nomu, kill the students.
Before Nomu could reach a pair of students who would carry Aizawa, All Might was trying his best to stop it, but he couldn't move. Uzumi, for a lack of a better term, was trying their best to stop it, bit by trying to launch attacks on it, but that didn't work. Todoroki was out and Kirishima was occupied, and it looked like the two students in the Eraserhead were gonna die. That was until an intervention appeared. Rider Punch! With As soon as that was said, there he appeared. Kamen Rider Hope. Throwing a punch at the Nomu's head, twisting his neck.
What? A surprise, boss!
Young master, I believe this is the new vigilante on the scenes. How did he get here? You know, I heard from your conversation that thing apparently absorbs punches. Must not be good absorption if I can just do that to its neck. Quickly, the Nobu twists its neck back in and gets into a fighter stance. Yutri, get out as fast as you can. I'll buy you some time. Thank you! Good luck, Gero. And with that, the students get away. Young man, you must run! Oh, please. Like I take advice from a fake such as yourself. This statement shocks All Might and gains Shigaraki's curiosity.
You're interesting. Let's see how well you fare against my Nomu. Get him!
Quickly, the Nomu charges at him, and Hope at this point decides, I'm gonna have to try and wear it out. My punches won't do anything, so I'll have to try and channel One for All into one of my body parts. Quickly, the Nomu tries to throw an overhead punch, but Hope, thanks to the training he's received from the fort user, was able to dodge it and tries to redirect his punch back into the Nomu's face with little effort. This thing is tough, I have to admit. Where'd you get it from?
Like I tell you.
Okay, you're smart despite what you say.
What? Nomu? Kill him quickly!
And soon the Nomu begins picking up speed. It begins launching a flurry of punches, and Hope tries his best to dodge them, but so far he's not doing so good. Okay. Hey, I don't know if I can keep up. Well, thing is tough, and and thanks to its absorption, I can't really pierce it. Alright, I have an idea, but it's risky. You notice, however, when you channel One for All, you leave some lightlands marks around you? Oh yeah, I noticed that as well. It must be because I can't control it properly. Well, maybe you can infuse your punches with it. Maybe that could help. Right. It's brain. Let me see if I can try and channel a punch to it. No, that won't. You can't reach it that far. You'll have to try and kick. That's a better idea. And soon Midoriya does his best to try and get into a position where he can land a kick onto the Nomu. And Shigaraki is getting really irritated.
And Nomu should be able to hit him. Why is he so good at dodging?
Must have extensive training. He could be a threat, young master.
Could be, but I'm more curious about why he hates All Might. I thought everyone loved him.
Could have problems with him. Maybe. And soon, Midoriya tries to at least knock the Nomo off his feet. He's glad that the purple mist man and the hand guy aren't really doing anything, which is really useful for him. And during the fight, he's trying to push One for All to its limits. He may be at 5%, but that doesn't mean he can try and go further. If this thing was able to handle All Might at his best, then I just gotta be smart. And soon Midoriya begins throwing punches at the Nomo's brain, but due to his size, he can't really reach it. So after he dodges one of the Nomo's punches, he jumps on its arm to give him more height and throws a punch to its brain, causing it to shriek. It soon knocks him off and then grabs him by his leg and begins slamming him on the ground repeatedly. Much like how Hulk does Loki in the Marvel movies. Fun scene, I like it. Quickly, Midoriya tries to channel One for All in all his body to try and make himself into a makeshift taser. And it does sort of stun the Nomo a bit, which gives him enough time to break free, but he's not holding up so good.
I don't know if I should be glad I've gotten used to wounds like this, but
that thing is paralyzed. I only have one shot at this. Soon, Midoriya begins to charge up One for All in his legs. He begins with a running start and quickly rushes towards Nomu.
What's he doing? Nomu! Block his attack!
And with that, the Nomu gets into a box's guard, preparing for what Midoriya is going to do. And Izuku is praying to whatever god there is that the Nomu doesn't try and counterattack him. And so Midoriya decides to try and throw a fluke. He quickly runs up and makes it look like he's about to throw a punch. And the Nomu, noticing this, quickly breaks his guard and begins to throw a counter punch. But Midoriya just does a front flip, which is able to avoid the Nomu's punch, and he gets and positions it into the perfect place for Midoriya to Rider kick its brain. Rider kick! Soon the kick connects, and sparks of electricity begin pouring out from Hope's legs. Whenever he's in the Rider form, I refer to him as Hope, so if I do refer to him as Midoriya, please forgive me. And this shock causes the Nomu to begin screeching in pain. And Midoriya also begins to notice that its shock absorption and most likely regeneration is failing because of all the energy pouring through its brain. He then notices his foot is moving deeper into the Nomu's head. And soon he's able to pierce the Nomu's head, which ends up static for a moment. But soon cracks appear around all its body. And as soon as Midoriya stands up straight, it explodes in a burst of green energy. The Nomu doesn't even get time to scream. This sight shocks the people who are watching this. Izumi is knocked out. All Might is trying his best to keep his form up. Kirishima saw the whole thing and is wide-eyed with amazement. The students who were at the stairs were surprised by this. And Shigaraki and is not happy.
No, 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 no. No one told me the secret boss would be this strong. How did you do it, you cheater?
I kicked it in its brain. You should probably not make it exposed. Noted. Young master, we should retreat.
No. I'm losing my cool. Kurogiri, let's get Gah!
As before Kurogiri, Shigaraki could finish his sentence, he is shot by a bullet in his hands. Hope turns and sees the rest of the UA staff there. And so they begin to disperse to deal with the villains. But before Hope can retreat, one of Ectoplasm's clones tries to attack him, thinking he's a villain. However, Kirishima actually steps in.
What are you doing? He saved us!
Pardon?
He's the reason we're still alive. He took out the thing that took out all my...
The teachers who were at the back who could hear this were kind of stunned. Some random person took out something that was given all my problems. My apologies, but vigilantism is a huge crime. And so is being a disappointment. Pardon? Not you. Though maybe, it really just depends. I'm talking about this symbol of peace. Before All Might can say anything, Cementos puts up a stone wall to hide the fact he's about to lose his form. Either way, my work here is done. And with that, Midoriya summons his rider machine, which I don't have a picture for, so if anyone can recommend me a good motorcycle picture, we'll use that.
Whoa. Cool.
And Midoriya then gets on it, but before Ectoplasm can stop him, he already begins driving away, and passes by the UA teachers who tries to stop him. And with that, he leaves. And no one knows where he goes, cause he makes sure that he avoids the cameras. However, it did not go unnoticed by a lot of people. We cut to the UA staff room where a meeting's being held. Aizawa is bandaged up and All Might is injured, but other than that, everyone else is doing okay.
So you mean to tell me that was Hope?
Yeah, I ran into him once. Apparently his real title is Kamen Rider Hope. Didn't understand the rider part until that motorcycle you all told me. Interesting. What do you know about him, Aizawa? Well, one thing's for certain. He does not like All Might very much. What do you mean by that? I tried to ask him that once, but from what I can gather, he believes that you are the cause for a lot of problems. But that doesn't make any sense.
He does have a point. Crime rates have never been this low ever since All Might appeared.
That may be true, but I'm willing to side with this Hope fella, especially after what you did, All Might. I assure you, I only had his best interests. And all I have is a scarf and eyes. You could have just given him a gun like Snipe suggested. Hell, I would have made him my own student.
Yeah, the little listener, sir, is probably used to all of this. I could tell from our first interaction. He's like a mini you, Nezu.
Oh, is he now? Damn it. Mike, Why did you have to talk to him about that?
What? I mean,
I feel like we're getting off track. All Might, I have to say, I am disappointed in you for not showing up to protect your students. You wasted too much of your time dealing with things other heroes could. I couldn't just sit by and idly watch. You couldn't sit by and idly watch. How is that your excuse? Our students could have been dead. If it wasn't for Hope dealing with that normal, as they called it, the USJ may have become the most tragic event in UA history. So decide whether you want to be a teacher, a hero, or a hypocrite. The UA Sports Festival will still go ahead. We will have to amp up security, however. Please discuss this with your students, everyone. And need I all remind you that anyone from General Ed can enter the hero course if they do well in the sports festival. I will not hear any excuses. Do you all understand? The staff were agreed in fear because they have never seen Nezu this angry. With that, they all disperse apart from Eraserhead. Aizawa, I wish for you to find more about this Hope, fella. Don't ever use the words fella again. You can't stop me. I control your pay. Although if I had to guess, due to his size, he could either be around our age. Maybe he was someone who was affected by All Might in some way. Or knew someone who was. I wish for him to not be arrested. The world needs more real heroes. I'll try and see if I can find him, but my injuries. I'll double your pay if you can bring him to me within a month. Deal. You're so easy to get to agree. Need I remind you, I'm the only one who can get your tea brand? I will find where you're getting it. You can't hide it forever. We soon cut to Midoriya's home where he's hearing his parents worry about Izumi a lot. And it's getting annoying. However, he's currently busy discussing with the users of One for All. Okay. I have to agree, Yorichi. Coming up with a special move like that, was probably the best thing we could have done. Yeah, but I didn't expect our kicks to be that powerful when our punch wasn't. Yeah. But this just proves we need a weapon, cause if we encounter something like that again, we're not gonna do good. Well, not many of us actually trained with weapons apart from Kudo, and his one was mainly ranged. I mostly was good with firearms because of my quirk. The N here was good with knives. What if I was to make a weapon that can turn from a sword into a gun? Is that even possible? This is the future. Anything's possible. Ugh, guess the future is now, old man. What? I always wanted to say that. Okay, but what's most concerning was the fact that thing had multiple quirks. And if I remember correctly, you all said that All for One was semi-dead? Well, it could be my brother is in such a state where he's basically paralyzed, or in the most likelihood, needs support equipment. But if he's still alive, that is even more of a threat. We only were able to beat that Nomu because of the whole exposed brain, but we could run into one that doesn't have one. True. Look, I want you guys to amp up my training regimen because of the UA Sports Festival. Alright, but don't complain about how brutal it is. I won't. The sooner I can get into the hero course, the sooner I can prove everyone wrong. And there's it is again. That little hint of darkness that Yorichi sense. He's becoming concerned for Midoriya, but he's hoping that he can most likely guide him. Like how he tried to guide his brother, but he couldn't. He doesn't want to repeat his same mistake. I don't know what's going on with you, Midoriya, but I will help you. And with that, that concludes episode 1 of What If Izuku Was Kamen Rider Hope. Now, I apologize for the delays, and I do have some news to share. My laptop may have to be sent away for repairs in the future because of a crack on the keyboard. Well, the keyboard frame, and due to the fact that replacing the whole thing is expensive, I most likely will have to send it to the official people I got it from, which will take time because those places take their sweet time with repair and stuff. I do, however, have made some videos to upload during that time, and I also have the recording for What If Izuku Was Kamen Rider Monarch nearly done. Although it only covers the USJ event, so don't expect much. And I just want to say thank you guys for being patient and enjoying this video. I wanted to try something new with, and I was able to. I also learned a new art technique while making one of the images. Originally I was going to make them a quarter of my normal drawing sizes, but I decided to do full or none, which ended up being a good choice. So I thank you all for being patient with me, and I hope you all have a lovely day. So yeah, au revoir! And let me know of any other video ideas I can do. Cause during the time I'm getting my laptop repaired, I will be writing down. I'll be doing something I haven't done. Writing down what's going to happen, or at least snippets, which I did for this video. You guys have left a lot of good suggestions, and I am hoping to hear more. It's just with some of them I haven't seen the series you all recommended, such as Hibiki or Saber. So please recommend Kamen Riders, and also please recommend not main riders per se, because I do want to give love to the other riders, like Eternal or Snipe or Cross Z or just Grease. Also giving him more forms, such as an evil form and a form that combines robot and one of the Tree Heart Smashes essence. I love those guys. Anyways, with that, I hope you enjoyed this new way I'm making my videos, and have a lovely day. Au revoir. I mean, ciao. When I finish build, I'll do What If Izuku Was Kamen Rider Evolt. In fact, I'm even making a presentation on why Evolt can solo the MHA universe. I'll probably upload that as a video when I'm finally finished it. Anyways, bye. For real this time.